Big red button. Right on cue with the burp. Episode 97 from everyone. I'm here with Scooped Up. I'm here with Jesse, Jimmy, and Leo. Full band of Scooped Up shit. Let me grab my fucking cheat sheet here for all the dates coming up here. So for starters, plugs up top. I'm booking music videos for the summer, so if you want something unique and memorable, hit me up and let's talk. For Scooped Up here, we've got in a couple days, so this will be out June 2nd. So this weekend, this upcoming Saturday, we have a show at the Milford Skatepark, big like festival kind of thing going on here. June 28th, we're in New York City. July 12th, we're at Shoreline Summerfest coming up. And of course, new single out now, Weed Song. Very, very on point name there. Cut right to the chase of what's going on here.
Yep.
New old song.
It's a new old song, actually. Yeah, we re-recorded it. It's from our first album from 2018.
Hell yes.
And yeah, we just decided to re-record it because it wasn't, just to do it better justice. You know?
Interesting. Okay, yeah. When was the first iteration of it released?
2018.
Okay, so it's recent-ish, but like
it was our first
quick.
good song.
Yeah.
And then now we just we wanted to get in the studio. We had one single to record, and then we were like, let's just do two old songs too, just to have something else to do. And we did two of the old songs from our first album that we just always wanted it to sound better. And then we also just tweaked certain little things so that I don't know, there was something one of the other songs is Delete This, and there was just something about the melody of that one that I wanted to slightly change, and just little things like that. So we went and re-recorded them, and now they sound better.
Is it the first good song by Spotify metrics or by your own definition? What defined it as a good song that made it worth re-recording?
Yeah, it's our own definition, I'd say.
Okay, yeah,
yeah. It was Weed Song was the first one of the first songs that just wrote itself and really encapsulates kind of our vibe as a fun going band and stuff like that. And we're stoners and whatever. So we had the 420 Eve house show.
Yep.
So it was the perfect occasion to release it the day after, which we released it on 420.
Hell yes. I know coming up here, we've got the Festival at the Skatepark show. So I was listening to your podcast with Powered by Rock. I believe Jesse and Jimmy were on that. I'm so bad with names. It's so embarrassing all the time. It's crazy to be on my own show and forget people's names and draw a blank. I just said everyone's names 3 seconds ago. I know people's names, but I forget in the microphone here. The thing you guys mentioned there is that the show's about building community here. And I thought it was an interesting way of people always want I think audience members want to be part of a niche community here. And it's interesting that you guys are taking the lead here and putting this thing together. And I think part of this is building community of bands. It's also all the vendors, all the other shit going on here. I know the skaters are all welcome. I know Jimmy, last time you were here, you mentioned the mayor's involved in sanctioning these things. So it's not some black market kind of event happening.
It used to be a
legitimate thing. Talk to me about the planning of this. I feel there's a lot of when TJ was here last week and he was talking about he's finally playing the festival this year. I guess he played it earlier and is now coming back to it. And it sounds like a nightmare, put together an event and headline it. It seems just too many things to juggle and make happen here. What's the planning process been here for that? What makes that make sense for you?
Well, I mean, it's just like any other show that we do now. We headline all of our shows now the past year that we've been playing locally. And it's pretty much just like that, but now we're just adding more bands and we're making a bigger, community event by having vendors and food trucks and all that stuff, trying to get people to come early and stay all day.
It's like a snowball, over the years. We've been doing it for, 5 years?
Since COVID.
Yeah.
Since
this will be the 5th year?
The first summer of COVID, we started doing skatepark shows, and it was just us playing to whoever was there.
We do 2 or 3 a year, and it's just kind of over time, probably through word of mouth and stuff.
Did y'all grow up as skaters?
I did.
Okay.
I kind of did.
I had a little phase.
I was a
I think we all had a little phase, yeah.
Me and Leo were posers.
Fair. Okay.
I still skate, but I'm not that good. But
okay.
I just do it for fun.
It seems like the best ways to have a show, though. There's something beautiful. I feel I go straight to playing Tony Hawk games as a kid, and it's just there's something about a skate park. It's I want to be there. I want to go see a show there.
Those soundtracks were so good too. Those were everyone's entry point into
100%.
All the genres we listen to, or I listen to at least.
Yeah. So. It feels like the best place, and it feels like the best atmosphere. I think it's also
it's our vibe of our band. We're a skate punk band, so I mean, playing for people while they're skating is the best thing to do.
Yeah.
We've done a couple. We did this. There was a bowl that opened in New Haven, and we did the opening night of it. We played, and there was 100 kids there skating, and it was so fun. Just the vibe and the energy there. And so
Wait, maybe explain a skate.
A skate bowl. Yeah, it was a skate bowl.
A full weed band has to explain what a bowl is to the listeners here.
Yeah, it's this thing. It's like a pool and people skate in it. In case you never heard of that before.
It's that thing
you
in
just
Breaking
said a
Bad.
bowl. You just could be anything.
It wasn't a cereal bowl.
It could be a cereal bowl.
It was a skate
or
park.
a Super Bowl.
So we played the opening day of that. We also
They played the Super Bowl, yeah. So that happened last
We
time.
played the Super Bowl, yes, we did.
yeah. So and we also played the opening day of Naugatuck Skate Park, which is another skate park that opened. So
yeah.
just playing at skate parks is just the vibe for us because it fits our music, it fits the vibe that we're already putting out, and it's my hometown skate park. I chill there fucking most of the time of my life anyway, so I'm like a regular there, so might as well play shows there. And then it's just snowballed to where we're at now, where now we have a stage and it's like a big fucking festival thing.
Shout out TJ's China stage. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite podcast stories that he dropped on me. He's like, yeah, I bought a stage from China. I was like, what the fuck did you, what are you
Really?
talking about?
Yeah. You bought it off Wish.
Yeah.
TJ not supporting American jobs and workers.
He is by starting an American business instead of renting it and outsourcing stuff.
Yeah, so we slam pack my van with the stage and all the gear, and when I drive there early in the day and we set up the whole stage for the park, and it's a
That's
pain in
sick.
the ass, but it's worth it.
Definitely. I think the community part is the other important part of this, though, where I think like bands need an audience. Like you need someone to go to the shows, and I think so much it's like people want to join a scene, and it's like no, this is a
Yeah.
good way to like foster the scene and like make people feel included. I think it's like maybe the more important part of this. It's like I think bands put on their own shows as a way of like we want a place to play. Let's design the perfect thing for us to play, and then we can go play
Yeah.
that show. But I think more importantly here, it's like in the same vein as like Shoreline Summerfest. Like let's just foster the community ourselves, kind of like taking the lead on building a community. Seems like a wise investment into it and like making this thing like sustainable for other people. Has that like paid dividends for you? Like looking back, you said this is the 5th year or so of the festival here. Like has this kind of like paid dividends? Have you felt like this has nurtured the community in the Milford area and like made more people interested in what you guys are doing?
Yeah, for sure. Well, what I really like about it is there's so many bands that want to play with us, and it gives us a chance to finally play with them. And like now we're doing 10 bands at this next skate park show. We're doing 2 other skate park shows this summer.
Sick.
One in August and one in October. So that's another 8 to 9 bands that we get to like put on and play with. And so we already have the lineups all set up now. So it's been a lot of fun just like picking all of our friends that we haven't gotten to play with for a while, or all of our friends that we do play with all the time. There are like a handful of bands that we play with a lot because they really bring a crowd and they really work on their shit. They're really about their stuff, and that's kind of what we want to play with, bands that are really about it and stuff. So now we're able to do that with like all the good bands in Connecticut. Now we have them all on the skate park shows, so it's fun.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it definitely cultivates just by doing free shows too, because this whole thing takes a lot of time and everything. And people come to our shows, and sometimes they don't have the $10 to pay for it, or like Shoreline Fest, they have to pay $25 for it. Luckily, we're giving them the option to come to a free show 1 month before and another free show 1 month after. So if you think about it, if you buy a Shoreline Fest ticket, you're basically getting 3 shows for the price of 3. It's like you're paying $10 a show, basically, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess while we're here, buy tickets from y'all for Shoreline Fest. It's a good way to support local. TJ is very clear of like buy tickets from the band. So yes, this is a good band to hit up if y'all heard that and are interested in who to buy tickets from.
Yeah, we are selling tickets, so please buy our tickets.
For Jesse and Leo, I'm curious. Like this sounds like this is Jimmy's like wheelhouse. Like you grew up going to skate parks. You've been in skate parks your whole life. For y'all, we were talking before the show. Like you guys are like metalcore kids. Like this is kind of like getting into the pop punk, getting into the skate park world is kind of like new for y'all. As transplants to the world, is this like a nice way to like make you guys feel included?
Yeah, for me, like pop punk was the starting place for everything related to, playing guitar. I mean, I was, growing up in like the 2000s, like pop punk, new metal, and that like kind of post grunge mainstream sound were just all over the place. So it was kind of inescapable. And then what really like motivated me to pick up the guitar was seeing like this special on Green Day. It was like the 10-year anniversary of Dookie coming out, coinciding with American Idiot dropping. So I remember seeing like Good Charlotte, Newfound Glory, Simple Plan, all like giving Billy Joe props from like just being a fucking animal on the guitar and like Woodstock 94. And that image of just like him hammering the guitar, strumming away the way he used to, potentially methed out too. Was what inspired me to just really like learn guitar, because I had it as a gift, because like I remember like badgering my dad.
How old were you?
I was like, I was 12 years old, 11 going on 12, and like how you have like general music classes in elementary school and stuff.
Everyone was playing recorder in third grade.
We had like
a
monthly talent show, right? And like one kid was like, I play guitar, guys. I play guitar, and like no one believed him. And like he showed up one day with like a Squire Bullet and was just, I didn't like the song. It was like some like boomer dad rock, but
seeing a kid your age playing guitar,
I was like, we can do this.
Yeah, it makes you understand. Yeah, literally, I've had a similar experience too, like that. But yeah.
And then like I started off with like an acoustic guitar, so like I didn't know at the time like because I kind of had like I want to say like a helicopter parent upbringing a little bit. So I kind of had like barriers in terms of like what I had access to in terms of media until like I took the deep dive one day. Like I was just staying home by myself and like I put on MTV. My dad always used to like threaten me like, oh, if I catch you watching that, I'm just going to block the channels on you.
Interesting.
So it was just like, like I'm tired of like listening to like hand-me-down music, and I'm just going to like explore and like see what's good with like these bands that everyone listens to. Like I hear their names all the time, but I don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
And like, first video I ever saw was like All Downhill From Here by Newfound Glory, Ocean Ave by Yellow Card. And then that led to Blink, Sum 41, Good Charlotte.
That translates well. I always like, Blink to me is always this like weird thing of like, I get that they're famous, but they're so unpolished and rough. And like, it's always this bizarre thing, like in my brain, like as a medical kid, everything is so tight and programmed and like, to the click and tight. And Blink has always been this like weird outlier. Like it feels like it's like half-assed, and I know it's not. I know it's like by intention. Like that is the freedom, and it sounds like that's kind of what you're saying here. Is like you appreciated that freedom. Like you grew up in like this really like rigid, structured household, and all of a sudden Blink comes in.
It wasn't like too bad, but like it was basically like you're not allowed to watch this shit until you're a teenager.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, I want to learn guitar, and I need to know like what bands. Exactly, pretty much. Punk in essence, right?
I had the opposite upbringing. I was outside smoking cigarettes at 8 years old, and I found a little mix CD on the ground, and it had like Linkin Park and like Sum 41 and Blink and shit on it. That's kind of opened up my world to pop punk. But I feel like everybody grew up on pop punk, and then it fell off hard. 2005, 2006, 2008, even like rock music really just like took the side stage, and everyone got into other shit. And
that's when I made the transition to metalcore and like regular metal. I discovered new metal in reverse, basically. Like I always knew those new metal bands like existed. Like I always liked Slipknot when I was in my pop punk phase, because all that stuff just hit me at once, even like hip hop during that time period. So I just really got immersed into like Slipknot even more. My friend had like an older brother who basically put him on to like all the punk bands that I would listen to, and then he moved on to metalcore. So I was always like listening to Kill Switch Engage through those two, like Shadows Fall. So more of like the metal side of metalcore, not necessarily like the like the Norma Jeans or Under Oaths of the world. I did like listen to Under Oath a little bit, but yeah.
So these guys were always playing, like when they started playing in bands, it was always like metalcore stuff and like right you would say.
Yeah, for the most part, I guess. Yeah.
So when we did start
death
the band,
metal. I played in death metal bands and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we did start the band, it was new territory for him for sure. Yeah. But like he quickly
my idea was punk was like the New York Dolls.
I don't even know what that is.
Like 70s shit.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, rough kind of like, yeah.
I remember you saying, on this Powered by Rock podcast that I heard you guys, Jimmy, you kind of talked about like drafting like your dream team here. Like you found a good musician and said, I think it was you first. We're gonna like, you're my drummer here.
Yeah.
And it was, it's kind of funny how
I was just looking to jam, like he just hit me up one day, and so we just started jamming. I didn't have any intention of like joining a punk band or pop punk band or anything like that. I was always in metal bands.
And now you're here. Are you still like a metal kid? Is that still like your home?
Yeah.
Is that still like if you're like your Spotify Wrapped or Apple Music, whatever the fuck you're listening to, is that still mostly?
I feel like your music taste has really evolved beyond that too.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But metal is like my base, Like if you looked at my Spotify Wrapped, it would be like, Thy Art Is Murder.
Yeah.
Kublai Khan.
I saw Thy Art Is Murder, and I got introduced to Kublai Khan through that show. The 10-year anniversary of Hate.
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm curious then, like as a pop punk drummer now, like does that come in? Is that a big influence for you, or is it like nice? I feel like for me, like when I'm working on like a metal video, that's where I listen to like a lot of like Suicide Boys. It's like I need that like divide in my brain of like this is what I enjoy and this is what I do for work. Is it a similar thing for you where it's nice to have like Thy Art is like this is what I enjoy and Scooped Up is this what I do?
Yeah, I would say that I can kind of separate the two in a way, but also like I listen to so many different genres that that it all kind of bleeds through my playing.
Yeah.
And like for me, I've always said like when I'm playing Scooped Up songs, I feel like I'm playing thrash metal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So which I think is cool because he brings this flavor to the band. Like the songs would be very plain if he wasn't doing like what he does.
That's how I approach the songwriting for the most part. I mean, obviously, like I listen to a little bit more pop punk and stuff now, and I can take some influence from that and kind of put that into the writing as well. But no, for the most part, what I'm writing, whenever I write, it's coming from more of a metal kind of bass.
I think the natural like thy art is murder fan is someone would be like, "You want to play pop punk?" They'd be like, "No, that's fucking dumb." Was there like a moment of you that you had to like suspend your disbelief from it? It's like,
no, it wasn't.
Up?
It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't hard for me because I've always kept an open mind with music.
Interesting.
But
okay,
hey, dude, I was really grateful that he was down to even jam with me because I can't like literally I never even play guitar. I just picked it up and was starting to write songs, and I was like, "Hey man, I got these songs. You want to maybe jam or whatever? Like I'm trying to start a band. I've never done this before." And then he's like, "Yeah, my buddy Walter's gonna be coming over tomorrow, and you should come over and we could jam." And it was literally like it was meant to be because him and Walter were like, you know, like they've been playing together for so long, and they're both like professional musicians. So then when I came into the mix, I had these songs, and they like brought the songs to life. And then Walter eventually quit the band, but since Walter was so good, we couldn't like just have anybody join the band. Like they had to be fucking really, really good. Leo's originally a guitar player, really good guitar player, so he was able to pick up the bass and bring that to the table. Like so now I still had two professional musicians, and then I just kind of like caught up. You know,
it's a common trajectory here. So the bass player is a guitar player, and then picks up the bass. Do you still like identify as a guitar player here, or like where are you in the spectrum?
I think both. I haven't practiced as much as I used to because like when I made that shift to like metalcore, I became predominantly like a lead player.
Interesting.
So that whole like practice to a metronome process, like relentlessly. I haven't really had that mindset with practice and work because I kind of like paid my dues with that. Like, you know, it's basically ingrained in me at this point, but I still do need time to polish up. Like I tried picking it up like the other day and I was super fucking
He still
rusty.
shreds, dude. He plays better guitar than I do. Like his note work is way cleaner than me. You know, it's just how it is.
You mentioned the click there. Y'all don't play.
I just can't play bass. My hands aren't big enough for it.
It's gotta be
no,
organic.
No, we don't play to a click.
I've never played.
We don't record to a click either.
Never played to a click. It's crazy. As a die art kid, I'm thinking like that to me seems like you would. That is where you need to click the most. Is for 200 BPM.
Edit that out. Actually, edit that out.
No, we don't even record to a click.
Interesting.
Yeah. Did we this time?
No.
No.
Maybe you guys, but not me.
Yeah, no. I thought maybe we did this time, but we didn't. We haven't recorded to a click ever. That kind of gives it more of like a raw feel.
It makes sense live to me where I can imagine, especially like a house show vibe, like gives you more control over drawing the thing out, extending the ending, playing something twice again. But like recording seems crazy.
Well, I like it that way because then like the chorus could just be like that little bit faster.
It's probably a little off.
But
say
the verses.
There's probably parts that they don't match up quite enough.
But it's good. It gives it like a natural like.
You probably can't pick it up though,
whatever,
you know, like the ear probably couldn't even pick it up really unless you're sitting there really, you know,
it's also
combing through it.
I have this thing with like music videos where there's so much of music videos that I obsess over, and like I was doing we were talking about the Unreal Engine like green screen stuff earlier, and I was doing one where I was making a forest and like the trees were from like Norway and the rocks that I used were from like Australia. And like in my heart, that like really pissed me off. Like I want to find the
no one's
rocks
gonna
that
know
match
that.
the trees, but no one's ever gonna fucking care. And I feel like this is a similar thing of like, for sure, there's some person out there, some geologist who watched my video and went, "Those fucking trees and rocks don't match."
There's probably some engineer that's like, "Nope, that didn't line up."
Exactly.
But you know what I like? If you think about it, a lot of people's music nowadays, they'll quantize. I don't know if it's the right word. Quantize the drums and like make everything perfect, and then it loses like its human sound. Like it just sounds like sterile and like I don't know, robotic. You know, which I'd rather like a raw sound, which is kind of what we put out.
And I think that's the goal of being a band, right? Is being relatable in one way or another, and that's one way of doing it. I know like the social media stuff is the other like way that you guys like reach out and try and be as relatable and as like real people as possible. And I think it's so easy to get caught up. Like there's a trend of like people doing like the TikTok like vocal covers now, and it's like they're not singing, they're not performing. There's nothing real happening. They are just lip syncing along the song.
Isn't that how TikTok started?
Probably. Who knows?
Like
There's that other app too called Musically. I'm just remembering this now.
Yeah. It's also popular, but I think you guys are so wise to like inject yourselves in that and not fall trapped to like this is what everyone else is doing and be like, no, this is who Scooped Up is. And I think like your personalities show through, and then you guys are much more relatable in the same way that playing without the metronome, playing like in a more organic way makes you relatable and like real to people.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, no, yeah, like when we're just putting out content online, we're just trying to make people laugh, and like you know, if we do that, then I think we've won, and it just makes people like us more, whether they like the music or not. They start to like us because we're funny and shit, you know?
It's the same. Quite honestly, that's part of where the podcast started to me. It's like, I can't put out music videos every week. Like at this point, the projects are big enough when like this thing started for me as like concert photo, and it was all concert photo. And I was shooting 3 to 5 shows a week. So it was very easy for me to be everywhere and constantly be putting stuff out. And then as the videos took over, it was like, I can't do this ever. Like, this is not, this thing takes 3 weeks to get done. I can't every single week be putting out something new.
Yeah.
And so the podcast then became a way of like, well, how do I keep myself out there and keep myself meeting new people and engage with new people? And it's like, I think you guys have a similar thing there. Like, you would love to put out a record every month, but it's like, that's just not.
It's the money.
It would go crazy. It would be impossible to put out a new
it would
song
be
every
impossible,
month.
and the money thing too.
Definitely, yeah. And so it becomes this like good way of like staying relevant, staying organic, and staying engaged. I'm curious though, I feel like I have bands on here all the time. And like, obviously every band right now is like trying to be on TikTok, trying to do their thing. And every band is like, it feels wrong. I don't like doing it. I can't find a way to like make myself enjoy doing it. Is it something that y'all are like forcing yourself to do, or is it like an enjoyable part of being a band? Where does this thing fall?
No, because the funny thing is we've been doing this before TikTok. Like before TikTok was even a thing, I've been making stupid videos and putting them on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's always enjoyed doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are y'all just like buying into it, or is there like a part of you that enjoys it as well?
Yeah, it's fun sometimes.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
is the key word there. Yeah.
We do things different. We don't just follow trends that people are following. We either will parody a trend or we'll make up something new that like.
But we all like it. We're all friends, you know, like, and we enjoy each other's sense of humor. So it kind of, it's fun doing those kind of like skits and stuff. Like, but like if I don't want to do something or Leo doesn't want to do something, then we're not doing it. He just does it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, a lot of those videos I just do on my just throughout the week, because we're not always together. Whenever we can get together, we'll make a video together. Like the drummer one was good. Like, who's our drummer? And then I peed on him, and that one was funny and it did pretty well. But like whenever we can get together and make a reel, we will. But most of the time, I'm just kind of like just doing a couple a week. Especially when the album was coming out, I was doing a video every day before the album came out, every day for a month, and then every day for a month after the album came out. And then I've still been putting out at least 2 or 3 reels a week since the album came out, and it's just like, it's hard coming up with new ideas. I'm pretty much out of ideas at this point. But
how many poop jokes did you make?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The album,
endless.
The album was about poop, so you know you can pretty much make endless poop jokes.
And it's a timeless joke, right? I think that's the other fun part. Is like there's so many like things I think bands get into where it's like this has a 1 to 2 week shelf life. Unfortunately, poop jokes are timeless.
We were making poop jokes before the poop album, so I mean, like we had that poop jug video that blew up.
Yeah.
Didn't have our song in it, but oh well, still blew up.
Jesse and Leo, then it must be nice for you guys to like have someone like Jimmy who is so driven to get this stuff done. Where I think in a band there's always the issue of like, well, someone's got to do it, and it must be nice to have like Jimmy being like, I'm happy to do this stuff. Where it sounds like you guys are like in and out of the TikTok game or the Reels game, where some of them are fun, some of them not so much. It must be nice to have someone who's like, I got this. This is my work.
Yeah, I just want to play drums.
Yeah. It's just a normal band thing, right? No one gets into a band because they want to make poop jokes.
I mean, I
But
enjoy
it's nice
doing
when
the
both
extra
things-
stuff, you know, like I enjoy doing like podcasts and taking pictures
But
and making
they both have
videos
full time
and all that.
jobs. They both have, you know,
Someone's
he's got
gotta-
a wife and kids, so it's hard to like.
Someone's got to keep things running, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well-
I'm the one with no job.
That's the
and-
thing though, is like with a band, like my dad is a musician, he's been in bands and stuff, and he always told me like someone has to take the reins.
Yeah.
Even if there's only 3 people, someone has to kind of take the reins. He's like, look at it like a 10-piece ska band. You think there's, you know, 5 people that are all fighting, you know, for like the kind of like, you know, control or whatever you want to call it, you know, they're not even control, but just like, you know, taking the lead on things.
Someone's got to steer the ship, basically.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So
100%. And you need also people who are willing to like support the ship, I think is the other side of that.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
there are, I think a lot of bands where it's like, I see someone who wants to be a leader and the other people are like, well, I kind of wish I was a leader too. This is kind of where I was going with the guitar and bass thing. It's like, I think there's so many bass
listen,
players who
being
are
the
like,
leader is overrated. It's better to be number 2 for
it's
sure.
a lot easier.
Number 1 gets taken out first.
Yeah, dude. I got mad haters.
Yeah.
These dudes don't even know what haters
They're all
are.
preying on his downfall, and then I'll be back here just picking up the pieces.
You don't got to outrun the bear. You got to be just faster than the slowest person running from the bear kind of thing here.
Yeah, but you know we're always like all of our art and our music. It's always we're always like collectively on the same page, and we always have the same we always have solid goals to go towards. So I mean, it's all kind of just happened by itself in a way. Like we've never really forced anything.
Yeah.
And I think it paid off, especially with our last album. Like it took us 4 years to make, but like that's because we let it all pan out the way it should, and we put all of our ducks in a line or whatever. What do you say?
Ducks in a row.
Ducks in the basket.
We got all our ducks in a row for that shit, and it's paid off. Because I was just talking to him on the way here. Like for the past couple of years, 90% of our set live has been our full album, the runs, and we still play most like our set. 90% of it is still just all those songs on that album, I mean, that's got to say something. I mean, we did something right there, right?
I've been laughing in my brain for the last 30 seconds. There's some saying of like, if you have to force an idea, it's probably shit. And I'm like, well, if you don't force an idea, it's poop. So this thing kind of works out either way. I guess you get to the same ending either way.
Even worse, it's a poop stuck in your butt.
Yo. No, it's the opposite.
If you don't force it.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't force it,
yeah.
it's a poop stuck in your butt.
You don't want that, people.
You do not want that.
That's wise words. Very wise
That's
words.
hemorrhoids.
If you take nothing away from this episode, make sure.
So yeah, we're like working on new songs. We have probably like 5 or 6 songs in the works.
Yep.
And we're not sure, like it's probably gonna end up onto another album, but right now it's just kind of, it's far in the future because we have to raise money for it and we gotta do it all over again basically. But we're doing pretty well in the writing aspect now. We're like halfway through an album basically, and we're gonna start, recording those songs and putting out singles here and there and like slowly drip it out type deal. But,
I know you mentioned that you're like DIY by necessity, where the DIY thing started not as like we have too much of an ego to include other people, but it's just like being a band is expensive. It's expensive to get this shit done. So that was a way to like, solve the problem. And if you're not talking about like expenses here, like what are the big expenses that have come up and like how does that, like is it still in line with the DIY origins of y'all, or is this like an expansion of it? Is this a part of it that's always existed? Like where do the expenses, what is the big expense here? Of course, we're not asking numbers or exactly
the main
who and how
expense
much, but
would be like recording the music, paying to get it recorded, and then also like getting vinyl made. It's a couple $1,000s to get vinyl made.
Okay.
And just a lot of that, like, and CDs. There's a lot that goes into it. We still do everything ourselves. The one thing we haven't ever done ourselves was record ourselves. Like the first album, we recorded ourselves and it came out like shit. And we're like, all right. We went to our buddy and he like re-recorded stuff and fixed it, and then it sounds the way it does now. Okay. I'm pretty sure the drums on that we recorded ourselves though, on the first record. We did.
Wasn't the drums?
Yeah. So if you listen to the first record, what you hear is the drums that we recorded ourselves. After that, we've had our buddy Randy record everything. So that's the only thing that we don't do ourselves. Everything else, like the music videos, we save a ton of money by doing those ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. Because the EP, we went and did everything with him.
Yeah. Yep, right after.
Yeah. It'll sound way better. Yeah.
But like, yeah, everything else we do ourselves just to save money. And then, we were luckily saving all that money, all the money that we do need to spend is just on like ads and promo and all that shit. There's a lot of stuff that like after the album is done, we still need like thousands of dollars ideally to make it even do anything. Cause you can't just put out an album and hope it does something. You gotta fucking, you gotta promote it. And that's half this band is promotion, basically. Like
that's 90% of any project, right? Like it is unfortunate, and I think no one starts a project being like, I want to do the advertising leg of it, and it's kind of this shitty reality, this like shitty dark underbelly of like this podcast is clips. Like I this is the part that I enjoy. All I want to do is like sit here and like hang out with my friends, and it's like the clips have 10x the amount of views that this will ever get, if not more. The numbers are crazy. And so it's like bizarre thing of like, I started this to hang out with people and talk to people. And it's like the 30 seconds that I put out are the only part that matter. So you're going to be here for an hour hanging out, enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy it. But there's some argument of like, should we just sit here and like clip farm and just like, do a 30-second skit kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, clip farm right now?
Literally, yeah. We found our clip for the episode. Mission accomplished. It's going to do well.
You got to put that behind the paywall.
That's
blur that out. Blur that out.
No shot. I'm fucking AI upscaling.
What will my son think?
No, you gotta cut his stomach out and put it over his face instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got some options here.
Nipples are the eyes. Yeah. But yeah, no, like everything, like half the reason why our band's even good is because we're good at promoting. You know what I mean? We got good songs, but like they wouldn't have been listened to if we didn't promote the shit out of it. That's it. And it took years to get to where we're at, to where now we're finally playing good shows in front of an audience that wants to be there and sings all the songs, and it's been great. And
there's I think the natural instinct of like wanting, for me when I started putting out music videos, like I want to put out something that's so good that other people are gonna be like talk about it for me. And it's like that's a nice idea, but it's not realistic, especially not at first. Like right now, if you're whoever the North Star band is, if you're state champs of the world, it's like they can put something out and other people will talk. Like they're still going to put an ad campaign, they're still going to put the money in, but it's like even if they didn't, it would still spread, and it might not do as great as they want it, but it would still do great numbers. They would make good money off of it. But that's not most people. Most people are not.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the going heavy on the promotion in the beginning is probably more important for sure, just to get your foot in the door. But then I think after a certain threshold, maybe it does become like word of mouth kind of is like probably going to be like, if not the most, it'll be like comparable to how well you're doing with promotion and stuff.
But I think it's half like the the value of like putting an ad in front of someone learns Scooped Up's name, great, awesome.
Yeah.
For me, it's more of like I see Scooped Up hustling. I see you guys in my Instagram feed all the fucking time, and I go, damn, they're still doing it. I want to buy into this. Like seeing how much you guys care about it is now evident because of the online presence, and that makes it easier for me to buy in. And I'm sure many other people are coming to the Skatepark show next week or this weekend as this releases, and I'm sure many other people are coming there. It's like that. It becomes this weird thing of like you're doing it to put it in front of people, and I think the act of doing it is almost more important than who it ends up in front of. If that makes any sense, like people want to buy into someone who is supporting themselves and advocating for themselves and working for themselves.
Yeah, that's cool. I see
that's
that.
more interesting than just who it ends up in front of. And it becomes this bizarre thing of like, yeah, you did it to hopefully give someone 30 seconds, and hopefully they like the Scooped Up song, and it's like maybe they do, maybe they don't, but they see the Scooped Up hustle, and that is something that people want to attach to and buy into and like support. And it's like if someone's working this hard and doing all this legwork to do the thing, then that's the boat I want to be a part of. And like it goes back to the Skatepark show here of like people want to be in a community, they want to be in a niche community. Yeah. Like they want to be in this included thing. And when you guys are like making your unique brand, it's like, I want to be a part of that brand. I want to make poop jokes. I want to go to see the band with the poop joke. Like, and that's not what you guys are selling. You guys are selling the music, right? That is the ultimate product here.
But we do bring, like, when you come to a show, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of jokes and, you know, so it's part of it too. You know, like you get used to us and kind of our personality from the videos. Another good thing about the videos is like, we've never gone away. Yeah. Like he had a baby and we did nothing for like a couple months, but I was still making videos and we were still doing stuff. Some cool things happened, like Anthony Fantano.
I was changing diapers, dude. I don't know about you guys.
But no, remember, like, perfect.
I wasn't doing nothing.
So the poop jug now is filled with real poop. That's the incredible
I got poop bags all over the place.
He wasn't doing nothing, but us as a band, we weren't doing nothing for a couple months. But like, perfect things happened. Like Anthony Fantano, like, reviewed our record quickly on like one of his videos, and like a couple little.
But
things
that comes
like
back to like him kind of being like the content horse that he is, and also us giving him the ability to just kind of like, just do it. Just do whatever you got going on in your head, you know. To where when we have like kind of lower points, like any band is gonna have, you know, moments where you're not doing as much because of life. Yep. But it helps, you know, having someone that can just kind of keep things like trucking along.
Because we went away, but we didn't because we were online and other cool things kept happening, and we were still working on songs.
Yeah, and we still like got together and we were talking and still working on.
And then we did that
stuff
acoustic
behind
show.
The scenes.
We did the acoustic show to kind of like keep people like you know, just keep relevant a little bit, and that did well. Even though like we played, there was a blizzard that day, and we still got like 70 people there.
Damn.
If it didn't blizzard, I swear we would have sold that place out acoustically. It was gonna be so sick.
That's crazy.
And it was still a really sick like intimate show, and it was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
And I'm glad we did it. But like, it just doing stuff like that just to stay in the, we show up, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day when there was no internet, you had to like show up and be seen and to be known and to be like remembered or whatever, like to make an image or something for yourself. You got to go out and go to functions and see people and network and stuff, which we do now too. But like now that the internet's there, we're always showing up pretty much every day on the internet, and you know, so.
That is the number one thing where I think like I'm sure you guys get asked by like people starting bands is like, how do I do what you're doing? How do I get to you? And it's the same thing I tell people.
I would tell them go and pick up a camera and talk into the camera and just tell people about your show, tell people about your band, and that's the best thing to do.
And keep doing it. I think is what you're saying. Like I think that's what I look back at like my life. It's like I started this in 2016 and there has not been a week that I've not done not necessarily the show, but photo, camera stuff. There's always been something happening. And I think that as I look back, it's like I don't know if any of them mattered, but if nothing else, it was like the constant effort of like every week I'm going to find some new way to get better at this thing. I'm going to find a new way to make a funnier short. If in your case, it's like whatever this thing looks like, it's that consistency that I think pays enormous dividends. And like that's where the value comes in. It's so easy to be like, how do I become scooped up? And it's like, I don't know, but start today and just keep doing it tomorrow.
Yeah, literally just got to work on something every single day, basically. And that's, you know, by 9 years, you'll get to where we're at, you know. I'm surprised that there isn't more bands that are just making videos talking to the camera about their shit. Because like,
it's scary. I empathize with bands not wanting to, like, I don't want to do it. That's why I did this. Because this is my way that I can talk. And like, this is my way. Like, I'm essentially playing the same game.
Yeah, not everyone's a social butterfly like you, Jimmy.
Yeah, but like, listen, if you think about it, like, when you put out a flyer, how many people are going to read everything on the flyer, read your description? You know what I mean? Half the people that see the post are going to read it. But if you go and you say, like, yo, we're playing a show this week, you know, and you make like a couple of videos like that, it's going to... the information is going to get there to the people that want to be there.
The other problem with the Flyers, you're competing against Nike. You're competing against like every major and it's like how good can your graphic design really be to stand out amongst the fucking Target and Walmart ads? Like it's so impossible to win that race and to win the race against the state champs of the world, the Bring Me the Horizons, whoever whatever North Star band you want to use there. And like the face all of a sudden is like a real thing. And it's like this all of a sudden circumvents that whole game, and there's like almost a cheat code in how to win this thing and how to make it work. And a person is way more engaging than
you'll be more recognized. Like I get recognized all the time, like because I go to shows and I'll pass out stickers, so I'll get recognized from people that I've given a sticker to before, or people that see us online, and now like it's just like it's building up more and more every year of like people becoming our fans, and just like if you put yourself online, you become more recognizable. Even people that don't even know, like aren't even into the band or whatever, they'd be like, wait, aren't you that guy that I see online sometimes? You know what I mean? So if you don't even put yourself out there, that'll never happen. So
I did the same thing with business cards, and I still look back and it's like that was a very wise thing I did of just going out there. I think for me it was also an exercise of like being like, hi, I'm Peter, I make videos. Hi, I'm Peter, I take photos. And like that was an important switch of like, I'm not an imposter anymore. I'm not just some kid. I'm not just someone trying to figure this out. This is who I am. This is what I do. I wanted to circle back for a minute here to the like acoustic shows. Jesse, I know you had a kid in this off break here. So I know, Leo and fucking Jimmy were out doing everything here. You were at home having a kid here. I'm curious how this influences it, where I think like a band is like a fun like fever dream to have. Where like a band is not a high probability success thing, unfortunately. Like they are a tough thing to like make happen, and like the odds are never in our favors. But hopefully they work out. I feel like having a kid sometimes can be like a wake up call that like really shakes you and makes you go like, okay, I got to focus on the things I really care about here. And if I don't really care about it, it's got to fall to the wayside here. How did this thing like affect being in a band? How did this affect your relationship with like Scooped Up?
Well, obviously, it's going to affect the band just like with the amount of time, like any free time, now is not, it's not there. There is no free time.
It's all to the little one.
So definitely I have to carve out, the time that I can for things that are important in my life. And I mean, I don't know, luckily it's just I have a very supportive wife, and that makes things 1,000 times easier,
The other thing, sorry, keep going.
No, and obviously, I don't know, like we're just doing it, It's just we probably get together maybe a little bit less, but I mean, we're all adults, so it's
I think it was perfect timing, because it was like right after we had released our album and killed it the past year. Because if it happened a year before, he probably would have quit the band and be like, what is this stupid band I'm in? Like, what the hell? I got a kid now. But now we're killing it. It's so much fun. Like, why wouldn't we do this? So so now we're just like trying to make it all work. And
no, it's been working. I think for people like, do you have a kid?
I do not know.
Yeah, so I'm the only one that has a kid. I don't know. I think you don't know until you do have one. It's like, it's not like the end of your world, having a kid. It's like the beginning of a new world, and it's like other things can exist in that world with like your family and your child and stuff.
I feel like I was here to advertise as like the end of so many things. Of course, the beginning of another beautiful adventure. But
exactly. Not to get too cornball about it, but no, I don't know. It's just like for anything, if it's important to you, you'll find a way to make it work, right?
I think the other piece of this that I've heard on the show come up is that like I've had other people who are parents on, and what they say is like, I can't let this thing go because I don't want my child to grow up in a world where I'm not dreaming anymore. Like it's important for you to like go out and be a leader and like show this little person that like go do whatever makes you happy. Go chase this thing and whatever that thing is, whether if you were a competitive swimmer or something like I don't know, whatever else you could be into.
And when he gets too old, his kid can just drum for us. So
there you go.
He's my replacement. So, he's part of this thing.
Hell yeah. Okay. Well, look forward. When you need a fourth member, when you need a fucking tech behind the scenes, someone to build a kit for you.
I'm already getting old and tired, so we need to bring in the young gun.
And then I know the flip side of this was the acoustic shows here. So Leo, I know you guys were like, transition from going like full band, full energy. Like I know the house shows, like it's always like intimate skate park. It always feels like there's like a rowdy element associated with you guys, where it is supposed to be a party. I think the acoustic shows were like a little bit less of a party and a little bit more like structured, and
we still had some people moving around.
Oh yeah, we did have we requested for one quick little mosh pit to one of the songs. And it worked. It was fun.
Yes. Okay. What was that transition like going from metalcore kid guitar? It's all of a sudden now you're playing bass and an acoustic thing on stage?
We both played acoustic guitars.
Okay.
For the acoustic thing.
Cool. Okay. But still, going from big, loud, energetic thing to acoustic on stage. Was that like did it like? It feels like it'd be a good like. Sorry, my tangent here is that like. Obviously, I do music video stuff. It feels like when I do like a wedding or like a couple's portrait, it's like a nice like exercise almost of like, this is not the thing I normally do, but it's nice to do this and like look at things in a new way and kind of get a new perspective on
it first
stuff.
started when you know,
tell him about Bowling for Soup, because we did it once before.
Exactly where I was going to take it. So he built up a relationship gradually with Jared from Bowling for Soup, the front man during the pandemic. One of the blessings of the pandemic. You know, everyone's got extra time to just, you know, be curious, reach out to people they wouldn't be talking to.
And that person
I drunk texted Jarrett one day and I was like, "Yo, play our skate park. I'll give you $1,000." And he's like, yeah, I'd love to, but like that wouldn't even pay for like our plane ticket for our fucking our guitar tech or whatever the fuck." And I was like, "Oh yeah, my bad. You're right, but hit us up, dude. Let's play a show or whatever." I don't know, something stupid. And then like down the line, he just messaged us and was like, "Oh, yeah, we're doing this acoustic tour. We're going to be playing at the Hampden. If you wanted to open for it, you know."
Yeah, Space Ballroom.
Yeah, tell him about it.
Fuck yeah.
Playing at the Hampden.
The Hampden Space Ball. Yeah, no, whatever. Yeah,
so we had to take him up on that opportunity. So that was my first attempt at learning our songs and like transposing, like other than just playing the power chords for some songs. There's some songs that, you know, me and him kind of walk through. We try to figure out if like playing with a capo made sense.
Yeah, it was cool.
Playing some like kind of open chords for some songs, seeing what worked and what didn't. And then obviously like 2-year gap in between, relearning some of that again, and the newer songs we wrote since playing with Bowling for Soup. But yeah, that's where it initially started, was that Bowling for Soup show. And
interesting.
We covered a Sum 41 song too at the acoustic show. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
We did Summer by Sum 41.
Hell yeah. Was it like good to like look at your songs in a new? I feel like yeah, again, my tangent here is that like the podcast editing it always stinks. Like I like doing this part, and honestly, like watching myself talk back for an hour is not the most fun thing in the world. Like cutting up clips of myself talking is always this weird game of like, what do I think of myself and how do I like take an objective view of who I am and not get caught up in like, well, I think I'm good at this, I think I'm bad at this, and caught up in that bullshit. But I've also found it's like a football player watching game film almost. Of like I get to look back at this thing and like learn from myself and go, okay, I think I did this well, I don't think I did this well. It feels like doing your songs acoustic would be a similar way to like reflect on them and like kind of see like them in a very bare bones way. It's like a good way to like look at the music in a new way and kind of gain a new perspective on like what Scooped Up is and what people like or what isn't working or what is working or whatever.
Well, it was not super new because a lot of the songs are written acoustically anyway. Like for the most part, like, you know, I'll write my melodies and lyrics just to a guitar and then we make it full band. And then so when we do it acoustic, we're kind of just stripping it back to the original form and then just like putting the flair of a second guitar on it and yeah, but it's cool definitely to like present these songs in this way, to really put like emphasis on the lyrics and the melodies that are in these songs, which I think are really good, and other people, some people would say they think they are good too. But
shows that we're not just like a one-trick pony. Like we can be adaptable and everything where needed, and people still like it. It's not too far off the beaten path of what we do.
Definitely, I think it's also like a nice testament of like this thing is working because people will still come out for the acoustic show. We're like, I think there are a lot of bands in my brain where it's like they're gonna come out because they want to be in the mosh pit for this thing, and if there's no mosh pit, it's like, well, fuck it, I'm not gonna be there.
And there was a mosh pit. There was a small.
I stand corrected.
And with a blizzard, dude, I'm so grateful that show like went the way it did, because there was literally a blizzard that night, and it was just an awesome night. The vibe was just there.
It all exciting. The other piece of this, I know like we're talking about like a new record coming up here. I'm curious, like you mentioned, I think on this same Powered by Rock podcast that, or maybe mentioned last time we heard. I don't know exactly where I heard it from, but you talked about how like the last record took 5, 6, 7 years to come out because the pandemic delayed it so much. Okay, 4 years. I like to exaggerate here.
Yeah.
Think a lot of
8, 10 years.
15
That
years.
shit took 15 years.
You were 7 when you started writing this album. It's nice that it finally came out. What's like the ideal release time? So then as we're starting to, there's a single that just kind of re-released. So I assume it's kind of like a
2 years or less.
Over. Is 2 years the goal here? Like when would the ideal release time for you be?
2 years from now? You're saying? Oh, I don't know. Whenever it's done, we would like to.
I feel like every 2 or 3 years between.
Yeah.
We're
like
already a year out since our
LPs.
last album. So, I mean, we have 1 year to get it all done, which we can maybe do. We'll see. We're definitely going to be putting out singles before then. We're hoping to put it out a single.
Money's the biggest issue.
That's literally it. We got the songs written, or I mean, we don't have it all written, but we got good songs written right now. It's coming together. The big reason why the last one took so long is because of the pandemic, and like I kind of just stopped writing for a while because I just didn't want to write about depressing shit, and then stuff opened back up, and then songs came, and
Was there a blessing in disguise there of being forced to take your time with this thing and like being forced to sit on it for longer and forced to like reconsider or make sure that it's all exactly what you wanted?
Because we ended up like dropping songs or like we just ended up writing better songs and taking the time to write these better songs. Because in between each song that like I would write that we would actually work on, there'd be 3 or 4 demos that just like aren't that good, that are just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even right now with these 5 songs that we have collected, I have like 30 or 20 demos that are just like snippets of songs that just aren't there, whatever, you know what I mean? And that's just how it works.
Seems like the best way to do it though is like write a bunch of shit and then figure out later. Where I always hear about band, or once in a while I hear about a band like goes into the studio and goes, okay, today's day 1 and by day 7 we're gonna have 7 songs written. And to me it's like, it seems insane. Like it seems crazy to just shit out 7 ideas and be like, these are gonna be 7 good ideas. And it's like, who the fuck knows?
It's hard to do.
Yeah, you have to be really locked in with the musicians
or
that you're
really
playing with,
tapped out and just not interested in the product.
I mean, we could, yeah. I mean, that's like
some bands do it that way, where they just go into this. Maybe they have some ideas or some like.
That's what the label has the money and they gotta get that shit made. So it's like bands will go and make a whole album in like a month or 2 in the studio, and then there'll be like 2 singles on it, and they're like, all right, we did it.
Yeah,
they're like 2.
And there's
good
probably
singles.
some magic to doing it that way too. You know. Like, you know, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. But
it kind of gets that like high school like night before the assignments due kind of thing, and all of a sudden you can do the assignment.
Yeah, especially I could see too if you're like in a band where you're going to a studio and like staying like at that studio for like whatever it is, 2 weeks or a month or something like that, or 2 months. Then you're just there just to do that. I could see how you could probably get some cool stuff out of doing it that way.
We're more about quality over quantity. We could have shit out an album already if we wanted to, but like, you know, we're wanting to do the same thing we did with the last one, pretty much. Just make it happen in less time.
I'm curious then, like, this thing is working, and I think I find myself in this like weird crossroads now with the music video stuff of like, it is paying the bills, like it is my living, and it's not. We all would like to make more money, like there's always the next step to be reached, but it's like to some degree this thing is working, which is a strange thing for me, like from 4 or 5 years ago, where it's like I've made $5,000 over the course of years. Like that's not paying any bills. Like that's like there's like this desperation mode of like I'm gonna try anything that works. And now I'm at this place where it's like it's almost like scary to take risks of like I don't want to deviate from what has worked, but I also know that like taking risks and deviating is what got me here. So there's this like dilemma of like if I just keep doing the same thing, it's not gonna work because it'll run out and be dry. But also like if it is working, then it's scary to like take this leap and try something that's completely different and also deviate from the path that's working. I feel like you guys are like the similar boat here where it's like this thing is now working and is not working to the sense of like we would love to tour internationally, right? There's like another step here that we would love to reach. But this thing is working in the sense that you are putting on your own festivals, you are headlining your own shows, you are playing shows that are good. You're not playing the shitty like, yeah, I guess we'll open for this band that sucks and we don't like them at all kind of shows. Like I assume every band has played plenty of those shows.
Yeah.
Like it seems like there's this weird dilemma there where it's like Scooped Up's at this like crossroads where it's like it's almost there, and do we just stay the course, and how much do we deviate from what we've done? Like, is there any almost like stress now of being at this like sophomore era of like, okay, one album has done well, we've done good things, the people are coming out, the numbers are showing the success here, but that almost is like a stressful thing. Like, is there any accuracy for this with y'all?
It's definitely, yeah, for sure. Yeah. For me personally, every show we play when I'm going, I'm like, this is going to be the show where everybody stops showing up. You know,
yeah, we were scared of that for a while.
But then I'm happily surprised, and it's a good show and everything. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like you don't want to think about it too much. Obviously, you want to think about it a little bit because, like you said, you don't want to just keep doing the same thing and then like expect it to keep growing, which maybe it will. But and I think that is there is a little bit of that to it with like persistence.
Yeah.
Where if you just keep doing what you're doing and it's working, then it'll just keep growing. But yeah, I don't know.
We've always been doing. Sorry, dude. Sorry, I peed a little bit.
You're good. Should I get a towel? Is it bad?
It's.
You got. I got a towel. Right.
Yeah, grab it.
Go ahead and answer your question. I'll take care of that.
Fuck, I don't remember what I was gonna say.
I'm an asshole.
My name's Jimmy. And I'm an asshole.
I'm a dick.
Beautiful. Shout out to the show.
Well, yeah, you would think that would happen. Like with our first album release show, we sold it out, and we thought it was like you would think it was just like a fluke, like that was our album release show. Of course, everyone showed up for the album release show, and then after that, it's like, oh, we already saw him, whatever. But luckily, and we're so grateful. Like if you're watching this, you're a fucking real one. Everybody who's been coming to our shows consistently ever since then, it's been over a year now. We're so grateful. It's so amazing. Like we couldn't be more stoked about it, and like it just shows like. We try to do more, like we just try to do so much to make it interesting and different every time by like doing like a different house or a different. Well, we played the same house a couple times now, but like we do all these house shows and all these like all ages events, like and it's like an underground type of vibe, and people want to be a part of it, and like the word of mouth is growing, and we're just stoked to be like the center of that, like in our community, and like we're able to play with awesome bands and share like our wealth with them in a sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what these skatepark shows are for. Like, you know, we try to get a lot of bands that are cool that we can play with, that we can put in front of our audience, and hopefully they'll like them and then start listening to them and stuff.
Are you still going to all the shows and handing all the stickers? Like, I know you talked about that as like a huge way that Scooped Up started and the way you were like promoting early on. Do you still have like, I did the same with business cards and I find myself less compelled to do it now because I feel like I just don't have the time to do it. Like, it feels like a harder thing to get done now. Whereas at the beginning where it's like, I'll fucking take any chance I have. And now that it's like, okay, I have other things I can work on, I'm less compelled to go do this like almost not desperate act, but like this like very ground level, grassroots, low probability act of whatever marketing.
I just went to a show like a week ago, and I went to where was it? It was in Massachusetts at the Palladium.
Yep.
Real Friends just played, and I gave out like 500 stickers.
That's the
and
way,
so like anytime that there's like a decent pop punk band coming around that's decently big, that's like I know their fans would be fans of ours, which is cool. Like the pop punk like umbrella is huge. There's so many fans that we can collect if they just find our songs.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm trying to just go to all these shows and give out stickers. Nowadays, like 1 out of every 5 person is going to be like, oh, I already got this sticker. And then at that point, I'm like, that's 2. Now you got to go look us up.
Yep.
And that's why I keep doing it. Because like the more, you know, with advertising it, you got to show up like 5-7 times before even someone recognizes it. So
that was always my thing with business cards. It's like, I'm going to give you one and you're going to ignore it. You're going to throw it out. And that's cool. I'm going to give you the second one. You may still throw it out. By the 5th one, even if you throw it out, you're going to see my name on Instagram and go, oh, that's the fucking guy. And like, that works. Even if you throw the business card 5 times, it still is going to plant some tiny little seed somewhere.
We're stoked now that Warped Tour's back, because now we can go super hard. We're going to the Maryland Warped Tour, and we're going to just give out mad CDs and stickers and all that stuff. We're hopefully going to, me and Lee are going to play in the parking lot.
Sick.
And to everybody that's leaving. If this guy shows, we're going to all play. But he doesn't know if he can go or not.
Classic dad life.
Announce right now. Let's see. Let's get the announcement now if you're going to go or not.
Drum roll, please.
Come on, dude. This is insider baseball. Chill.
But no, if we did the Warped Tour, what's it called? The Warped Tour contest. So we actually find out, what day is it?
We find out on the 23rd, right?
23rd,
we find out on the 23rd if we win, which is in 5 days. So if we win, then we're all going to go and play the Warped Tour, which would be sweet.
Hell yeah.
But if we don't win, we're just going to go and just do the guerrilla marketing, because that's what we were doing at Warped Tour before it went away.
That's the way to do it.
Back in 2018, me and him went backstage, and we like, you can go to Warped Tour and you work an hour backstage, and you get all access pass, and you get in for free, and that's how you can like travel and follow the tour as like a small band. As you work catering, and you get free food, you get to hang out with all the fucking celebrities. It was sick.
It was a very interesting day. It was the Jones Beach. It was like during the last year they were doing the full run of the tour. We got to meet Kevin Lyman for a little bit. You met Mayday Parade or We the Kings? I forgot. That was you, but not me.
I remember I met the guy from We the Kings, and I was like, Mayday Parade! And he's like, that's what happened.
Hell yes.
I also went up to the guy from Story Untold, and I was like, yo, Story So Far! Like, completely by accident. But he was like, yeah, fuck you, dude. And then we also, we went and there was like this kitten room at Warped Tour. There was just like a door that said kitten room, and me and Leo were like, what the fuck? And we walked in, and it was like Simple Plan and State Champs just hanging out with a bunch of kittens. And I walked in, I'm like, what are these, punk rock kittens?
Are the kittens on tour?
Yeah, they are. They bring the kittens to like help people like with stress or whatever. And I'm like, what are these, punk rock kittens? And everyone laughed, and I was like, oh shit, I just made my heroes laugh. And then it was cool.
That seems crazy. My cat hates going in a car anywhere. Bring a cat on tour. It feels like I feel like puppies are always the animal that you bring for this thing, because puppies are happy to
They were nice kittens, so they were used to the road. That's all they know.
Well-traveled kittens here.
Yeah.
Do you have any other memories of the Jones Beach Warped Tour experience?
Just sunburn that lasted for like 3 months or so.
Shout out Sunburn.
Yeah, just lots of promo, and we gave out so many stickers and CDs and shit.
We got to briefly meet some of the Simple Plan guys.
Yeah, that was in the kitten room.
Yeah.
And
well, I think there was somewhere else too.
Like
we were in line.
When we were in line for catering, we like met like some of the Simple Plan guys and stuff. But yeah,
sick.
I met like the singer of Movements and just a bunch of random like celebrities that were there. It was pretty cool. The day before that, he showed up for the second day. I was there the day before. I forget which state it was in, but there was like this cookout afterwards, and that was even chiller because everyone's just like drinking and eating burgers and shit, and I'm like chilling with Kevin Lyman and fucking. Kevin Lyman was actually making he was making lobster tails, and he gave me one. I'm just like eating lobster with Kevin Lyman, living it up.
Damn.
So
that's a
they
real
better
flow.
put us on that tour. He just has to remember that he shared a lobster with me.
We met the singer from Young Culture back then too.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
dug
we were
that
hanging
up.
out with the
Sick.
singer of Young Culture and our homies in Losing Streak from New Jersey. They were the ones that hooked us up with like the catering thing. Like they introduced us to the catering lady and got us a part of that whole thing. And because I was just following the tour anyway, just passing out stickers, and then I ran into them. They're like, "Oh, you guys should just come in and do the catering." And I was like, "I didn't even know that was a thing."
Hell yeah.
I wish I knew that was a thing because I would have been going to Warped Tour for free for years.
Yeah.
Because all you do is show up. You no credentials. You just show up before the tour and you say, "Yo, I'm here for catering." And they're just like, "All right, come on in." I didn't even have to go catering, but like I did because I'm not like a liar.
100%. That seems like the way to do it. Yeah, I wish 16-year-old me also knew that because I feel like giving like my idols a hamburger would also be a sick experience.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, 16-year-old me would have been so starstruck by every single person who walked by.
I
That
think
was,
they
like,
put
euphoria.
that. I could have swore they put out like a Warped Tour documentary, either like 2011 or 2012. It was that long-haired guy who was like the manager of like the setup crew, like literally everything. Do you
Okay.
remember that?
I don't think I do, but I'm sure it exists. Yeah.
I kind of remember that there was that one. They followed that band that followed the tour. Is that one you're talking about?
I think so, but it was like the long-haired dude. He had like the long gray hair. He was like the guy who just directed everyone from catering to setup and
Oh, yeah.
scheduling.
Some
I
kind
don't
of
know.
You
production
might have
manager
seen him
guy.
too.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's where I first saw that it was a thing. I just like, oh wow, I remember this now. Like
Hell
these
yeah.
people get to go for free. I forgot.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's just how small bands are able to like follow the Warped Tour. They just get in for free, and then you get free food, and all you gotta do is just give an hour of your time to help clean up after the catering's done, and then you can
Easy.
go and
Yeah.
you get a side stage pass. You can literally just go and watch any band side stage. It was pimp.
That's so funny. I remember like being at Warped and looking on people's side stage and be like, some of y'all in a band, who the fuck are the rest of y'all?
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
turns out it was you guys doing
Yeah,
catering.
literally.
We also met Knuckle Puck for a little bit, and then that
Briefly,
led
yeah,
to-
just like in the parking lot. I remember we ran into Nick from Knuckle Puck, and I was like, "Yo, you want to hit my blunt?" And he was just like, "Nah, I'm good." But then like later on, they ended up following us, and then one time Knuckle Puck shouted us out at the Toad's Place show that they played. I'm like sitting there in the crowd and just chilling, getting my Knuckle Puck on, and like they're just like, "Yo." Like before their last song, they're like, "Yo, this last song goes out to a band from around here called Scooped Up." I'm like, he like points me out in the crowd. He's like, "I see you right there, my man." And I'm like, "What?" I look around at like my friends that I was with, and I was like, "Are you serious? Am I tripping?" And I thought I was tripping.
And I had a friend who was at that same show too, so I had like started a new job around that time, and like I was remote. That was like my first time meeting my like new team and shit, and they wanted to go out to happy hour, and I just remember being like a couple drinks in. And my friend who's also at that same show texts me. He goes, "Your band just got shouted out by Knuckle Puck." I'm like, "You better not be fucking lying to me right now.
Yeah,
this
dude.
better not be a fucking joke."
That was massive because anybody at that show was a CT person, and like that must have helped.
Definitely,
I forget when that was. It must have been. Was that before the
This
album?
was like
This was like 4 or 5 months before our album came out. Because I remember I was talking to Nick from Knuckle Puck, and
Didn't you send him?
I
the
sent him
album?
like like
This was like
the demo of it.
February or March of 23. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think this is also like the full circle moment of the stickers, right? It's like all the people who'd thrown out the scooped up stickers all of a sudden go, "Oh fuck, he just said their name."
No, that's what I'm
regret
saying.
Throwing out the stickers.
That's
now.
why
Yeah.
I give out stickers just in case of that moment. Like if Green Day finally ever just like put us on their story, like, "Yo, check out Scooped Up," everyone would be like, "Oh, I seen a sticker before." And like there's 100,000 stickers in the world, so like it would just click. We would blow up in that sense for anyone who's like whatever. Like if we blew up, all these people that have seen or had a sticker would just have that little connection to us that they would become super fans because of it, you know?
And that is the key, is right? It's trying to plant as many of these little seeds, and it's like, who the fuck knows what's gonna grow? Like, it could be none of them, it could be all of them. It's probably gonna be somewhere in the middle of them. But yeah, it is ultimately on you guys as a unit of 3 people to like go out and plant as many of these fucking little seeds as possible. And yeah, some of them will grow, and who knows when. But you just got to keep playing the numbers game here. Of like, if you plant out 100,000 seeds, like, if 1% of that works out, we're gonna be okay here.
Yeah, and it's been
just keep
it's
going.
been working. I mean, everything just kind of we've had small wins up, like the Anthony Fantano thing and just like the Knuckle Puck thing and just all these little small wins just keep piling up. One day, hopefully, one big thing will happen.
Hell yeah!
Like there's that band, The Paradox, that literally have blown the fuck up out of nowhere.
Jimmy's obsessed with them.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. They have more followers on Instagram than the story so far. They have 3 songs. They've been around for like 5 months, and it's because like Green Day like blew them up for them and
Hell
like
yeah.
whatever. Like if that happened to us, that'd be great.
In the same context of playing the numbers game here, I like to ask people what the North Star goal here would be of like what is the dream band to go on tour with, and I like to ask because eventually one of these will work out after these 97 episodes. Someone's gonna be right. Someone's gonna end up on tour with the Good Charlottes of their life, and it's gonna be like they said it here 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So Leo, I'll start with you. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. What is the number one North Star like? If this band asked people to go on tour with them, play a show with them, whatever that context is, who is the one that would, make 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds you the happiest?
I mean, the obvious answer would be Blink.
Okay.
But I feel like that's a little too much of an easy answer.
Yeah. It could be Billie Eilish. I don't care. Say a name.
I'd say Good Charlotte. It would have been Sum 41, but obviously no longer a band.
Tragic.
They had to,
they'll make a comeback tour, right? It seems like
they've got
there's too much
when
money
they're like
involved.
60 or something.
100%. Yeah, there's no way that bank account is drying up from here on out.
Yeah. The arena rock bands from like the 80s are going to, move on and croak.
Eventually the
someone's
Kiss
going to
tour
have
will
to
end.
replace them. And
Someone
be the new,
will have to go, yeah.
Pop Punk's going to be the new arena
the
rock.
Kiss tour will end eventually.
At some point.
Yeah, I would have said Good Charlotte, State Champs, Story. That's probably it.
Put them all in a package, yeah.
Neck Deep, too. I think Neck Deep would be a solid, if it was like Neck Deep, Good Charlotte, Blank.
That's it. That's the ones. Jesse, who's the one? Manifest some shit here.
Dolly Parton.
Beautiful. The Queen.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton.
Chicken jockey. No.
Go open for the Minecraft movie. Yeah, that's the next goal here.
Oh, you got a Dolly Parton shirt? Oh, that's cute.
This feels like a planned bit. Like I just fell into your trap here.
Zoom in on this.
Dude, we told him not to do this. We talked about this.
No, I don't know. I don't listen to this fucking bullshit music. Dude.
Yeah, Scooped. He would love to open for Scooped
Can I
Up.
open for Scooped Up? I want to open for my son's band in
Hell
20
yeah.
years.
Open for Thy Art. I don't care. Put someone out here. Put someone
Kublai
out
Khan.
here. Would it be Thy Art? Kublai, yeah.
Nah, I don't know. Maybe like
The Offspring. That'd be sick.
no, it'd be cool? Bowling for Soup.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be cool.
Because I never opened for them.
Yeah.
That's true.
Full circle after the acoustic show. Come back.
Yeah, we did
Feel
the
the
acoustic
same.
show. He
I
was just
never
in the
got to
crowd.
open for them. I was
Yeah.
just crying.
He yelled at us to get off the stage.
Yeah. No, yeah. Realistically, it'd be dope to like tour with like MXPX or or Knuckle Puck. Like they would be a sick band to tour with. And like obviously Blink or Green Day or whatever, that'd be sweet. Or Story So Far, like any huge pop punk band would be sweet. And yeah, Bowling for Soup. We played with them once. It'd be awesome to do a tour with them. I think we'd fit perfectly with them.
Definitely, yeah.
So I mean, we're not far from like playing with those middle to bigger bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
all
only a matter of
possible.
time. Yeah.
Hell yeah. As we come up on our hour here, I like to end this thing. I'm always curious about like life outside of music. And I feel like, Jimmy, I've asked you this, so I'll start with you guys and end on Jimmy here and then we'll wrap up for the day. We always talk about like all the music shit. And like part of this for me, part of the podcast for me has been about like realizing that people are so much bigger. And I think as a 16-year-old, I would see bands and be like, they just play guitar all day. That's all they fucking do. Or play drums all day. They do nothing else but ever touch drums. And every time someone's on here, they go, I'm a fisherman. I like to sew. And it's like, I feel like I always learn some like random deep cut of like some niche hobby they have that is not music related or could also be music related. That's what it opens to you. But just, I'll put you on the spot here because I put Leo on the spot here last time to start. Oh, God. Is there something outside of music that like calls your name? Are you a golfer? Are you a runner? Are you a cyclist? Like, is there something outside of music that compels you?
I like fish.
You like fish?
Yeah, I keep
Fishing?
fish.
Or
No, we don't hurt fish.
Okay.
We keep fish.
Beautiful,
We keep
okay.
them alive.
He likes shrimps.
No, I don't have any more shrimp. Dude. Don't bring up the shrimp, man. My shrimp colony died.
R.I.P. the shrimp colony. Is there?
I got some stir-by corridoras, and they're breeding like crazy right now.
Okay. How many like tanks we talking? How many fish we
Just
talking?
one. I have a 20-gallon tank. I need to
Okay.
upgrade. I need like a 55 or something because they keep breeding, and there's too many of them.
Okay.
I have to like give them away soon. Yeah.
Has this been something you did since like high school? Is it like a new hobby? Like
No, my cat that I had for like 18 years died a few years ago,
Sorry to
and
hear
then my wife just trying to be nice and like make me feel better was like, let's go get you something new.
He got some sea monkeys, and then ever since then he never looked back.
I almost got like a little Russian gerbil, and I'm kind of glad.
what's
I'm glad I
a Russian
didn't.
gerbil and a regular gerbil?
I don't know.
Communism or
These-
something. No, I don't know.
Russian gerbil. I don't know.
Dictatorism, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. What's Russia?
He's a fascist or he's a communist. I don't know.
Wait, which one is it?
What?
Yeah, which one is it? Fascism or communism?
What's the difference?
We support them both.
Both good for humanity.
I realized I try so hard to keep politics out of this show, and I realized I walked straight into that voice between a Russian dribble and a regular dribble. It's like such a great setup for a political joke. Like
crimes against humanity. That's probably the difference.
I shot myself.
Russian dribble keeps you in cage.
My bad.
But yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. Fish keeping, Leo. Yeah. What's something outside of music? What's something else that like makes you happy outside of this life?
Honestly, I used to exercise a little more, but I have a couple injuries I'm bouncing back from a little bit. I used to hike a lot too. I remember like during the pandemic, like the highest mountain I'd hiked in Vermont was like 4,200 feet. I like hiked with 2 friends. We stayed there for like a weekend, and I just remember being so shot towards like the descent of the hike.
Yeah.
Like we had one friend out of the group who was just like able to like push through a little more than us, and he's the one who drove us to like the hiking trail and everything.
Gotcha.
And he was like, guys, I can probably sprint down this mountain by myself. Leo, give me your backpack. I don't mind. I'll wear it with mine. He put like my backpack in the front of him and his backpack in the back, and he just sprinted while like me and my other friend were just like slugging along.
Yeah.
It was kind of embarrassing, but no, we're barely running into people. We're gonna run into people we're never gonna see again. And I think we ran into like a couple who were on the way up, and they were like, "Oh man, you guys look tired. Take this." This guy was like, "Take these like pre-workout chewables. This will get you through." And I was like, oh, "Awesome."
They were just boner pills.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then that got them through though.
And then
Blue Chew sponsorship.
I'm going on a little tangent here for hobby, but
please.
The funniest part was like that same couple was like, "Hey, we saw like there's a lot of like strange people that come up here. We just saw like this little guy run down the hill
with all these
2 backpacks on."
Well, those were your backpacks?
They're like, "Oh, yep, that's our friend who volunteered. He's gonna like scoop us up, pun intended, like, right where we're gonna come down from the mountain and like get his car before we get to the descent." So we get to the car eventually by like sunset, and
luckily you made it out of there alive.
Yeah, he was like telling us like, "Guys, thank God I made it down here. I puked like 3 times from the run."
Why'd you make me do that?
Is like the perfect hike here like an Appalachian Trail hike or like a Mount Everest kind of hike?
Honestly, I haven't done it in a while. I think this mountain was a part of the Appalachians or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know anything about either one, but it feels like 2 different kinds of hikers.
This was like more so like a brief chapter, but like, yeah.
That's the stuff. Jimmy, I feel like we talked about it before. I feel like I probably asked you last time you were here, but I know it's skating. I know it's weed. I know it's music.
I do a lot of things, dude.
Is there anything? I know, a lot of design stuff, a lot of photo stuff out there. Is there anything that like surprised me? Something very out of left field for you?
Well, I rock climb. I do indoor rock climbing.
Hell yeah! Okay,
Did I tell you about that?
I don't think so. No, I don't think it came
up. I've been doing that for like 2 years.
He drinks Pepsi, caffeine free.
I drink Pepsi.
Okay.
For breakfast.
Caffeine free.
For breakfast.
Hell yeah.
But what else do I do? Oh, I do graffiti art.
Yep.
Did I tell you about that?
I believe we touched on it a little bit, and yeah, it's always one of those ones I'm always scared to ask about because I feel like part of graffiti it's like a Fight Club kind of thing of like don't talk
you don't talk about that shit. Don't even ask me. No, I don't do that shit.
It's like defined by this thing of not wanting to talk about it.
No, I don't go and paint scooped up on the ground in New York. That wasn't me. But no, yeah, I do a lot of things. I skate for fun, and I rock climb for fitness, and then I like paint and make music and make art and funny videos for like the creative itch, and that's it. I just like to create shit because if I don't create anything, I feel like shit. And yeah, man.
I feel you.
I'm sorry.
For what?
The obvious thing.
Oh yeah, you're right. Right.
We can pick that up after the show here. Episode 97 from everyone who's scooped up. Jimmy, Leo, and Jesse. I like to have everyone going out, plug their socials here so everyone knows where to follow you guys here. Obviously, the band is, scooped up on all platforms. That is the best place probably to follow everyone here. Leo, I'll start with you. Where's the best place for people to follow you on social media or to keep up with you? Or they tell you they're great today, if they want to see more of you, they can watch you play instruments.
IG is going to be the best place.
Beautiful. I can talk for 1 second while you pull it up and double check because I never know my Instagram username either.
No, exactly. So it's LBDNK29.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Follow me on Instagram. Jesse, what you got for me?
Just go follow the band.
Beautiful.
Scooped up.
Beautiful.
Scooped up.
We can do that. We can listen to the band. We can stream the band. Jimmy, what you got?
Yeah. Follow Scooped Up. Follow Orifice Records. To find me, you just go on Instagram and looking up Jimmy Barbetti. You can also look up Jimmy Barbetti on YouTube. I got a bunch of like personal funny videos on there that I just make for fun, and some short films and stuff like that. Look up Scooped Up on scoopedupband.com or mgksucks.com or ibrokemydick.com. We got a bunch of websites.
Hell yes.
Come to the Skatepark show June 7th. Shoreline Fest. Hit us up for a ticket, and we'll see you guys at Warped Tour if you're going to be there in DC.
Beautiful. Go to DC, support the band, leave a like, leave a comment, have fun here. I hate asking those things, but it does help the show. Have a great life. We'll talk very soon.